I just want to do the opening again and then the final chord. So let's actually start with the beginning of Battle Hymn. So trumpets, just make sure we're both in sync on our entrance there. Here we go, beginning, and then percussion. I know Morgan, it only says mezzo forte, give us forte there. You can be way more. Okay, here we go. Let's do F to the end. Okay, here we go. F. And 1, 2, 1, and. Like the whole time.
Yes, ma'am.
Cool. You guys can leave your instruments. This open thing starts at 9. There's something again. There's something. I feel like I hold your own before. It is so taps, you'll just go off in the wing. Microphone? No. You just like in the wings. You don't even have to be like any louder than normal, and you kind of just like face like the corner. So I'll kind of be. Hold on, let me look at the program really quick. Uh-oh. Brad, you forgot to take out last year's piece. You left God Bless the USA in here.
I didn't realize. Okay.
So, I was like, let's quick pull it out.
Okay. So can we do this?
There's no way. Because no one's.
That's okay. Whatever comes.
Leave it down here.
Let's.
So you added this.
Yeah. So let's
put this here. Can we do that?
Somebody left a mouthpiece on their stand.
Yeah.
Or should we leave it, should we just scratch this and
We
leave it
can,
like
we can
that?
do this.
Hey, you just stepped on Carolyn.
Did I?
Jacob, you're okay if we put, battle him right before taps, right? Because then you're warmed up, ready to go? Okay. You can just put it here.
Okay.
I was gonna say, I didn't say anything last night, 'cause it's whatever, when you call, but, I was gonna say typically we do the selection before taps.
Let's move this up.
Yes.
Let's put it over here. Okay, so battle him a little here. So the transition that I put for the slides, Tim, it looks like you must have got it, right? So instead of transitioning to
You know, it's not our fault that everybody else
we'll do it for the battle.
understanding how to use sine and cosine. And
And then, so they'll be taps, and then they'll actually like, they'll like back out, or do you want us to like, after this,
All juniors and
like,
Aiden, Josh,
so it's added.
Rona, and I are
So this is Mr. Mike Visor. He's going to be, he'll be running the ship from up there. This is Ellie Wilkes.
Hello, nice to meet you.
yeah, well, our book is a smaller than
What they did?
I already talked to Inga, and she knows. Well, we have my name. I can't get the. You see my line set up yet either.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
At 8:55, that's why I'm like, I don't think it's gonna end up starting at 9, because there's no way you're gonna get the whole student body and teachers in here at 9. Right. So,
Yeah, it'll be probably 10 after by the time we
yeah. Well, that's why it's an hour and a half, right?
I want to go back to having
Just making sure see here near this.
because it kind of gets everybody. We can start it.
We can.
Well, I've got mine. I got mine. So grabbed and ready to go and I can change it.
What? We had to like pivot on a moment's notice? You can't do, no, I'm kidding.
You can do
No.
So you want the first transition here?
I believe so, yeah.
Semper Fidelis, yeah.
Where are we putting the third slide?
Oh, let's see, what is the third slide?
Yeah.
The third slide is,
There we go.
let's go look on my computer.
Okay, so Jacob.
Yes.
So we're gonna do, battle him right before tap. So that'll be after the keynote speaker, so after he speaks.
Okay.
So you're gonna wanna position yourself, so like, kinda just walk back there, in between this first curtain, the red one and the black one. And you can go like, yeah, actually on the concrete. And so what I'll do is I'll just kind of be like, I'll probably like step off the podium and I'll kind of stand here and I'll give you a nod. And then you actually face that way. Yeah, so like once you start, like actually like turn around and face that way. Because it's supposed to be more like distant sounding. Yeah. And then I'll have to tell Maria about chimes. Because it'll be as they're walking out.
Go back. I want to see you. It's popular.
I don't think you're supposed to be down here.
Greg, are you in the something?
Well, no, I'm supposed to be here for
No, choir
to sing the national anthem.
Oh, you guys actually sing so?
Yeah, but it's actually we actually do it because it's your team.
No,
I don't have to be bass,
But it's gonna
so I
rise
can
up on the
actually
other side.
carry. Alright, we make one arc in front, like imagine where you guys are for like 10. You right there. Paisley, are you speaking?
Am I sitting right here?
Jason's over there. Oh, sure. Go ahead. You okay? He forgot to do something. Alright, so imagine where you guys are now we're protected and try to make that arc along here, okay? Connect.
Perfect.
Be connected. Slater! I know that guy. I worked with him. Were you?
Yeah, because Sebastian was right next to me.
You're gonna join us?
Okay, now I'm being reminded of that song again.
a lot of veterans.
You know,
It's almost like you
honestly, we just got to do more on the solo songs because Connected is actually kind of fun.
No, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
So
it could
just
have been worse,
real
right?
quick. And yep, so just sweet. All right, we're gonna just run through it once for the top. All right, so Natalie / Emily, just watch where you head nods down. That's the starting spot. Okay. And then you watch me for count. Okay. All right, sweet. Here we go.
All right.
Stripes and bright stars through perilous fight. O'er the ramparts we watched, blossom cabins we streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, came through for the night. Still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nice job, everybody. Good job.
I missed up on the words. I don't. It's
1 second. So, all right. So, yeah, just sit across here. Try to see if we can bounce as much as we can. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be in that first row, kind of where concert choir normally sits up here. So what we'll do is just Alana will be at the very end here, and then we'll sit until we call it. And then once they call vocal change, we'll do the spot, sing, and then go back to the same team.
Basically, we're going right where we were for
We're going to come on, so come on, and then kind of
Do we have to do this twice again, or is everyone?
Yes.
So Alana,
Actually, it's like missing class or whatever.
so Alana goes, Alana, you're going first.
Yep. See? Alright,
Let's go over there.
yes, I know. Oh, sweet. Okay.
Chair is open, and I'm leaning on the chair. Heat transfer. Are you sure? You looked awfully confused.
I need to swap these anyways.
Whatever will tell us.
It's first though. It's like the first thing. Like I think we opened this. I don't remember doing it. Do you think I'm paying attention?
Last year we were
Well, there might be a little speed just marches and then it's like speakers and then it's... Alright, for the read instrument, so we're going to start with battle hymn. And then we have a long kind of stint. Or not, sorry, we're not. We're starting with armed forces. I'm thinking of battle hymn though. There's a long stint before we play battle hymn. So it's after the keynote we play it. So I would say like, feel like he's starting to like wrap up his talk. Start getting your read ready to go.
So that way we don't have squeaky squawk as we're pushing down. Get on it, Mark. No, that's how you do that. I saw that in the water bar. I had like straight sets it. I could do like on I sit up. I'm saying more like street is better than my work. Do you see this? Yeah, I saw that. That doesn't mean anything. My shoulder is like this. I'm trying to let all my kids do it. So I can move it. Yeah, and I can do it. And correct. I don't think so. You know what? I don't figure it from a man. I'm a woman. And I'm better. This is sexy. I just want to say I can't take all the things. I tried to remember I was serious and I did too. I was so humble. I was so humble. Like it was crazy. I did too and I was like, oh my god, what? Why is this for because there was a day she made us work out, and I was, she made us
going to move this back over here.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining us today as we honor and celebrate our nation's veterans. Today is about more than remembering the sacrifices of those who served. It's about understanding the values of courage, commitment, and service they embody. We are here to recognize the men and women who have dedicated their lives to protecting our freedom and security, and to reflect on the incredible impact they have made on our country and our lives. To our veterans in attendance, we thank you. Your bravery and selflessness are an inspiration to us all, and today we want you to know how deeply we appreciate your sacrifices. As students, we can learn so much from your example, your dedication to something bigger than yourselves, and your willingness to serve with honor and resilience. We hope today's ceremony reminds us all of the importance of gratitude and respect for our veterans, not just on this day, but throughout the year. Thank you for being here with us to help us honor those who have given so much. We are now going to hear from the Merrill High School Wind Ensemble under the direction of Miss Ellie Wilk. please rise?
Prepare to pull colors. Hold.
I pledge allegiance to the flag Now please stay standing as the Merrill High School Vocal Jays, under the direction of Mr. Perry Scott, perform the Star-Spangled Banner.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'll ask that you please stay standing with me for just a few moments. My name is Brad Potter. I'm one of the administrators here at Merrill High School, and it's my sincere pleasure to welcome you to today's Veterans Day ceremony. I want to welcome veterans, families, board members, community members, and our high school staff and students to our ceremony today. Merrill High School has a long, proud history of honoring veterans from all wars. It is my hope that we can continue to honor our veterans today through our own efforts, which, of course, will never match the efforts our veterans made to ensure the freedoms that we all enjoy today. Before we start, I'd like to thank a few individuals, our local veteran organizations for being here, our concert band, our wind ensemble, and the Vocal Jays. Big thank you to IT members, our custodial staff, and some very dedicated National Honor Society students who are helping behind the scenes, and some of them in front of the scenes this morning. I'd also like to recognize and honor all veterans that are present today, as well as those Merrill High School students who have committed and enlisted for the armed services after graduation. I believe Evan Fredericks and Bella Schorner are two of those students. Congratulations, and we are proud of your decision. At this time, I would ask that you join me in a full moment of silence in commemorating all veterans who have served or are serving today. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. Each year, students around our area participate in something called the Voice of Democracy essay competition. The competition centers around patriotic themes, and there's a different theme chosen each year. This year's theme is America Today, Our Forefathers' Vision. The winner of the competition in our area will be able to move on and have a chance to win some nice scholarship money. I'm proud, right down to my social studies teacher roots, to inform you that we had a Merrill High School freshman be the winner this year, and it's Kylie Lutsky. If Kylie's here, would you please stand and be recognized? Congratulations, Kylie. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome Hazley Gates. She's going to come up and say a few words to you about why Veterans Day is important to her. Let's give her a hand.
Good morning, Merrill High School. My name is Hazley Gates, and I am a junior. I'd like to start by thanking every single veteran that came here today to speak to us and just to be present for your service, safety, and sacrifices. Because thanks to all of you, we are here another day in our country without worry and with all of our freedoms. For many of you students here, this is your first MHS Veterans Day Assembly, and for many of you, your last. Whether you're preparing to leave Merrill High School and go out into the world, or just preparing to go to your next class, I ask that we all take a moment to think about how our country came to be such an amazing place, and what a privilege it is to be able to be sitting here now. Many men and women have served our country with great courage and dedication to keeping America free, safe, and just. These people, whether on the front lines or in huge aircraft carriers in the middle of my ocean, like my dad, sacrificed so much to keep us safe and worry-free and able to keep living in this beautiful country that we call home. My dad was in the Navy. He was on a massive aircraft carrier in the ocean, which are huge ships weighing up to 100,000 tons. These ships held aircraft that would drop bombs because they couldn't fly all the way from the U.S. to the targeted country without running out of fuel. My dad was in charge of supplying the entire aircraft carrier with power by a nuclear reactor. He ran, fixed, and maintained the ship's ability to run and the aircraft's ability to take off the ship. My dad was in the Navy for 9 years. He was away from his family for the vast majority of the time and was put into dangerous situations to keep our country safe. Being a nuclear engineer on the ship, he was often put into the basement, as the sailors called it, which was a part of the carrier below the sea level, where the threat of torpedoes hung over the sailors' heads each minute that they worked. Again, Veterans Day is so important because we wouldn't be here without such brave individuals who fought for our freedoms and safety like my dad. Their courage and dedication inspires us all. Every time my dad sees a veteran on the street, no matter what he's doing, he never fails to stop and thank the veteran for their service. We should all do this by taking a moment in our lives to thank every single veteran we see for their bravery, courage, and sacrifice, and listen to their stories and show them our utmost respect and gratitude at all times.
Our speaker today is Mike Visor. Mike Visor is a lifetime member of the VFW. He is a full-time father of 4 beautiful young women and a dedicated husband to his wife, Tracy. He is the safety specialist and maritime security coordinator for St. Mary's Summit. He His work requires travel all over the Great Lakes from Green Bay to New York City and everywhere in between. He is a Brown County Harbor Commissioner in Green Bay, Wisconsin. He is one of the adult Sunday school teachers at his church. Mike served honorably in the Marine Corps from June 1989 to June 1993, receiving a meritorious promotion to corporal while serving in Somalia. He served with Suicide Charlie, 1st Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment from 1992 to 1993, after spending 18 months aboard an aircraft carrier, the USS Independence. Several years ago, he built a one-of-a-kind war memorial in his front yard, which features a life-size recreation of the World War II flag rising on top of Mount Suribachi, as well as a dog tag display board which has dog tags for each member of his unit, Suicide Charlie, that were killed in action, from Korea to today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Visor.
Well, good morning. Oh, come on. Good morning. There we go. Many people confuse Memorial Day and Veterans Day. Memorial Day is a day for remembering and honoring personnel who died in the service of their country, particularly those who died in battle or as a result of wounds sustained in battle. While those who died are also remembered, Veterans Day is the day set aside to thank and honor all those who served honorably in the military, in wartime and in peacetime. In fact, Veterans Day is largely intended to thank living veterans for their service, to acknowledge that their contributions to our national security are appreciated, and to underscore the fact that all those who served, not only those who died, have sacrificed and done their duty. The key word I would like to focus on this morning is sacrifice. It's easy to consider and remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice while serving, but all veterans, living and dead, have made numerous sacrifices that help keep this constitutional republic alive for all these years. I can only speculate on why other veterans ever joined the armed services to begin with. For some, it was a sense of duty, a yearning to serve their country, and others, it was a family tradition. Others might join for financial, medical, educational, or travel reasons. More yet might say that developing friendships and learning leadership traits was their reason to go. It could also be a combination of any of those and more. But the bottom line is that they signed their name on a contract and they took an oath of enlistment. And that oath of enlistment is this: I, state your name, do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulations and the Uniform Code of Military Justice, so help me God. And that's something every veteran has said. So today is a day to thank and honor all of us who have taken that oath. A veteran's first type of sacrifice is their time. 4 or 6 years, that's generally the first step. Many here can relate to 4 years, especially the seniors. Where you at, class of 2025? Oh, come on. Where you at, class of 2025? Aren't you guys excited to graduate? I mean, it's coming. Come on, there we go. Thank you, thank you. All right. 4 years can really feel like a long time. And those 4 years that I served, I was in my prime. Physically anyway, not so much mentally. And your body is certainly ravaged by the life of an infantry soldier or Marine. Every Marine brother I know suffers from knee, back, and shoulder problems. Sacrifice. During my 4 years of active duty all around the globe, I had the privilege of working with members of the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force. My memories of those times can be described as quite entertaining, humorous, and for lack of a better term, violent. Although some of those stories are best suited for private rather than public conversations. As a civilian, my role as a maritime security coordinator, I deal with the U.S. Coast Guard frequently as it relates to homeland security. Often underappreciated, the Coasties I know are quite dedicated and honorable. As far as the Space Force is concerned, I still have no idea what those guys do. Back to the subject at hand, sacrifice. Of my 4 years of service, 3 of those years were spent either at sea or overseas. I was stationed aboard an aircraft carrier, the Independence, CV-62, so I can relate to a lot of what you went through. And my short 18 months on board have given me a lifetime of stories. It started when I arrived at Coronado Island across the bay from San Diego. The Indy was out to sea with no estimate on their return. Things like that were often hush-hush. The receiving officer on base made some phone calls, and it was decided that several sailors and other Marines, including myself, would soon board a plane and be flown out to the carrier. I must admit, landing inside of a plane on the pitching and rolling deck of a U.S. aircraft carrier is one of the most awesome experiences that I have ever participated in. Man, that was cool. Although taking off from a carrier, I think, would be even better. Movies like Top Gun, they really don't do it justice. I used to spend hours and hours watching flight ops. We sailed all over the Pacific. We made numerous port visits to Hawaii, the Philippines, Hong Kong, Singapore, and many more. On August 4th, 1990, our carrier made a hard turn to starboard. The captain's voice came over the ship's intercom, or the 1MC for you Navy folk, and told us that instead of going to the small island of Diego Garcia, we would be heading into the Persian Gulf to deal with some guy named Saddam Hussein. Our carrier was involved in various actions and was eventually released to head back to San Diego. We were at sea for months at a time, at one point spending 112 days straight without even seeing land. Around day 95, there was a young sailor who he saw land using some of these high-tech binoculars, and he decided that he wanted to go for a swim and to try and swim to shore. We were in the shark-infested waters of the Indian Ocean at the time, so he decided to jump overboard. Man overboard! They always send a couple of Marines in the rescue helicopter with orders to shoot if there are sharks attacking the person overboard. The orders were clear. Our rounds were meant for the sailor, not for the shark. There were no sharks, and we fished them out, and he spent the rest of the cruise inside the ship's brig. Life on board wasn't all bad. The food was great, and us Marines, we basically ruled the ship. It's true, right? Out of 5,000 people, there were only 5 that we were not allowed to physically put our hands on and throw down to the ground if we needed to. And we did do that from time to time. Some Marines enjoyed it more than others, but yeah, most of the crew really didn't like us for that, and I don't blame them, but it was a good time. When I was in, we were lucky to receive mail every 2 weeks or so. There were no cell phones to call home, no computers to FaceTime. We sent letters written in cursive. All the kids are like, what's that? We sent cassette tapes back and forth with our voice recordings. I still have a whole bunch. Not being able to readily communicate with family back home, that can be stressful. I missed several funerals while I was away, as well as many holidays, weddings, and just time away from my family and friends. But we learned something. The Marine Corps was our family. Sacrifice. After my tour of duty was over on the Indy, I was sent home for 10 days and then proceeded to my next duty station which was 29 Palms, California. In May of 1992, that's when I transferred over. Most Marines refer to that base as the land that God forgot. It's situated in the high desert of California, and it is arguably the second worst U.S. military base to be stationed at, second to Adak, Alaska. Soon after checking in, I was informed that I should keep my sea bag packed as we were heading to Okinawa, Japan the following week for a 6-month deployment. The highlight of those 6 months was a 2-week visit to Thailand. Welcome to the world of rice paddies, rubber trees, king cobras, and pineapple fields. We almost created an international incident when we dug up and ate a bunch of pineapples. The poor Thai farmer was cussing us out and we had no idea what he was talking about. Someone gave him a $20 bill and the shouting stopped. That pineapple was tasty. It was also quite surreal as we were hiking. It looked just like every decent Vietnam War movie that I had ever seen. There were many farmers wearing traditional black pajama type outfits with the conical bamboo hats. That was enough to get your adrenaline flowing. In November of 1992, one of the most decorated Marine Corps infantry companies, nicknamed Suicide Charlie, along with the rest of 1st Battalion, 7th Marine Regiment, left the lovely banana spider-infested jungle island of Okinawa, Japan, to return to our home base in 29 Palms, California. Several weeks later, we were on a long flight to Mogadishu, Somalia, just in time to spend our first Christmas in Africa. We spent the next 5 months getting shot at every day from people who we were trying to help. Countless patrols, both day and night, and we never knew what dangers were around the corner. The Christmas of 1992 was depressing and yet memorable at the same time. We were camped outside the Somali city of Baidoa. Baidoa was called the City of Death. It was a major village in the region, and tens of thousands of people had died either in the city or on the outskirts. We noticed the smell at first as we approached the edge of the village. Next, we were greeted by the hundreds of half-buried corpses along the road. It wasn't all bad. At night, you felt like you could just reach up and pull those bright stars from the sky. Someone created a small Christmas tree from a bunch of junk laying around, and most everybody was really missing home. I heard a commotion and made my way to a group of Marines standing around a couple of burn barrels that gave off enough light to see some pretty big smiles on their faces that matched the roar of laughter coming from their mouths. They began to pass bottles of wine around, and it didn't take me long to figure out where they got that wine from. In the distance, I could hear yelling in French and English. The yelling grew louder as an angry group of French Foreign Legion troops were en route to retrieve their stolen wine. Once again, Suicide Charlie almost created another international incident. As they were greatly outnumbered, they decided to share. Those Frenchies also learned how to sacrifice. Several weeks later, on January 24th, 1993, 3rd Platoon, which was my platoon, went on a patrol outside of Mogadishu. Trucks drove us to the departure point, and we were escorted by a Hummer with a tow missile system attached to it. The system used a thermonuclear scope, which allows for great night vision. When we were about 100 yards out, a voice came over the radio. Peace Frog 3, be advised, you have a large black panther to your left flank, 50 yards out. Squad leader Miguel Diaz grabbed the mic and replied, say again your last? A little louder this time, the voice on the other end replied. Be advised, you have a large black panther to your left flank, about 40 yards out. Corporal Diaz heard it the first time. So did everyone else in our squad. That particular night, out in the African scrubland, it was about 85 degrees, and it was so dark that you couldn't see your hand in front of your face, and so quiet that you could hear a mouse fart. You want to talk about fear. Everyone that had night vision goggles had them on, safeties were off, and our rifles were ready to fire. We did a security halt, and every one of us were anticipating 4-inch claws about to be sunk into our flesh. Everyone was desperately searching for any movement, any sign of that large feline. Seconds seemed like minutes. Minutes seemed like hours. We did not move a muscle. I don't remember breathing. Everyone was just scared. After about 5 minutes, the voice on the other end informed us that the cat was quickly walking away to our right flank. Okay, breathe. We talked about that big dumb cat for weeks. It was bad enough that the natives were trying to kill us, and now we have to deal with wildlife too. And don't get me started on the snakes, spiders, and scorpions. We finished up the patrol, quietly strolling through villages, undetected, safely returning to base. I remember at one point I was looking through my night vision goggles, and we were spaced out probably 20 feet apart from each other. And we actually had natives that were walking in between our patrol lines. They had no clue we were there. That's how dark it was. That very next night, 2nd Platoon sent a squad out for patrol. They departed from the same spot, and they took a similar route. But their night took a tragic turn when they were ambushed. Lance Corporal Anthony Botello was a point man and immediately went down with several bullet wounds. The men of 2nd Platoon fought gallantly to recover Tony and get him back to base. I was outside of the battalion aid station when the lead Hummer came back. I saw one of our corpsmen, Doc LaRue, frantically doing chest compressions. Tony didn't make it. Our entire company took his death hard. They wouldn't let us out on patrol for 2 weeks. They knew we wanted revenge, and those 2 weeks weren't enough to ease our very itchy trigger fingers. Losing a brother in battle hurts, and it hurts for a long time. Sacrifices. We returned to the U.S. at the end of May 1993. A month later, my 4 years were up. The day I left 29 Palms, California was one of the happiest days of my life, and also one of the saddest. I was happy to be finally able to go home for good, and I was sad because I was leaving all my brothers behind. I really love the military, all branches, but I gotta say they need to do a better job at returning us back into the civilian world. I had some PTSD issues when I got out, which is not unusual for someone who has seen and done the things that I've done. And I know that I'm not alone. My heart aches for my younger brothers and sisters who have experienced the war-torn areas of Afghanistan and Iraq. The trauma doesn't stop when you leave the battlefield. It follows us all the way home and can take years to resolve. Sacrifice. Most veterans that I know are some of the most patriotic folks around. The flags that they wave and are so protective of are not the main reason they fought so hard when the first bullets started flying over their heads. They turn their heads and they face that danger head on, summoning all the courage that they can muster. Not for the flag, but for the soldier, the airman, the sailor, or that Marine standing next to him. We were willing to die for each other. The Bible teaches us in the Gospel of John 15:13, greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. That, dear friends, is true sacrifice. In January of 1993, I was on a mobile patrol riding in a 6x or a deuce and a half. If you don't know what that is, it's kind of a big troop-carrying truck with wooden side panels. We were ambushed hard from our right flank. We returned a devastating fire, eliminating many armed aggressors. After our trucks came to a rest about a mile down the road, I discovered a bullet impact between me and my friend Ryan. There was maybe 2 feet separating us. It very easily could have hit either one of us. It did not. Luck? I hate that word. God's providence and divine will is more like it. I have been in many close calls while serving. I truly believe that my faith was a key part of my survival and my ability to deal with the issues that arose from it. I would encourage one to seek the spiritual path if you or anyone you know is facing anything that is causing you mental anguish. When our carrier returned to San Diego in 1990, we were met by thousands upon thousands of people at the pier on Coronado Island. There were flags, bands, and cheering seemed endless. This was a far cry from the homecoming that our Vietnam vets received when they came home. I know Vietnam-era vets that are still upset about that. 2 of my neighbors, in fact. If only there was something that we could do. Sacrifice. What can you do? Can you sacrifice some of your own time to do something to make a difference? I know that there are many restaurants that offer free meals or discounted meals to veterans on Veterans Day. Well, that's nice. But is that worthy of their sacrifice? How about this? How about someone start a Vietnam veteran recognition program here at Merrill High School? Raise some money. Buy some gift certificates from a nicer restaurant, not Taco Bell, Burger King. Texas Roadhouse works. Then have a group of students make a list or get a list of all local veterans from probably every county's got a veterans resource officer. Handwrite some nice thank you cards. Make some signs that say welcome home. Enclose the gift certificates and have groups of students hand deliver those cards and welcome home signs and personally thank that Vietnam veteran. I hear many folks say that they support our vets. I say put your money where your mouth is. Make some sacrifices if you really want to thank them. I have created the Wisconsin Vietnam Veteran Welcome Home Project. It's a 501(c) not-for-profit organization created to accept funds and to disperse them in form of gift cards to Vietnam veterans in the greater Oconto area. For those that don't know, Oconto's in Wisconsin, on the other side of the state. We have created a GoFundMe page, which will be activated later this week. Last Friday, my daughter Kelly, who is here today with my other daughter, Jennifer, and my wife, Tracy. But Kelly and I were out selling poppies at our local grocery store on behalf of the VFW. Veterans of Foreign Wars, if you didn't know. Usually you see the veterans out around Memorial Day and Veterans Day trying to raise money to support their organizations. It's not just the VFW. I know I've seen American Legion and Disabled American Veterans helping as well. So anyway, I started a conversation with this older gentleman, and I was talking about the charity that I'm starting. He was a Marine Corps Vietnam veteran, just happened to be visiting the area. With grit in his voice, he told my daughter, "We never got a welcome home." As tears filled my eyes, I realized that my quest for those Vietnam veterans was genuinely justified. Sacrifices. All veterans made them. They all gave up something to serve their country and their brothers and sisters in arms. Today is their day. God bless our veterans, God bless Merrill High, and God bless the USA.
Please stand and remain standing for the playing of taps and the retiring of colors. After the bell rings 11 times, please exit respectfully and in silence.